Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Kavinsky's Tutorials. Today looking at the new BLEASS app, BLEASS Fusion. So I'm going to do a detailed but I hope short walkthrough on this. I'm going to aim for about 15 minutes. That means it'll probably be at least 20, but I'll try and keep it short. This is pretty cool, I think, actually. So it's a distortion effect based on wavetables, so it contains about 50-something wavetables, and you can add your own wavetables. So basically in the Files app, I mean, here I'm looking at it on iOS, it's also available for desktop and Mac. You can just, drop in files, drop in your own wavetables in there, or whatever that you got off the internet or that you made. And then what's cool is that you have this really nice motion sequencer, okay, that's a very common guest, let's say, in various BLEASS effects apps and synths as well. And we've got this modulation section as well with 2 LFOs and an envelope follower. Okay, now, by the way, my video from yesterday on the new AudioKit synth still has an open giveaway, so for people to win any AudioKit app. I'll put a link to that in this pinned comment in YouTube here. And earlier I sent BLEASS an email to check whether they're up for doing a giveaway on this video, and I haven't got a reply from them yet. So, I mean, usually what I do with giveaways is usually there would be a giveaway on YouTube, Twitter, Insta, and sometimes on Threads as well. And the instructions would be a bit different for each platform. But basically here on YouTube, if you're following me, if you like this video, if you write a comment, you would be eligible. So like I say, I don't know. I mean, there probably will be a giveaway, but I don't know at the moment. But if there is a giveaway, as long as you are following me, like the video, and write a comment down in the comment section in YouTube, you'll be eligible to win, and winners would be picked in 2 days. Okay, so let's listen here. So here I'm running, let's just listen to this dry first. So here is BLEASS Sidekick, which is quite a useful little drum kick app that you can just load in an FX slot. And it's nice because, you can get a kind of like side chaining of any instrument that comes like in this instrument slot before it and stuff like that. But okay, here let's just listen to it as a kick, and let's take a preset here like this rumble kick too. Okay, and let's just drop this on. So listen how fat that is, right? Sounds great. So you can see here, see this as modulation is using the envelope follower, and the amount here is dialed in as a negative amount. Here we're changing it to positive. And that is working on the dry-wet signal here, right? So you see basically at the start of the kick sound, it's drier and then it's getting wetter as it goes along. And you can hear that. And you can see also the filter here. Basically the filter is being modulated so that as the sound goes on, the resonance is being adjusted. And maybe the cutoff frequency as well, let's see. Just the resonance, yeah. So then we could, for example, we could take an LFO. If we look at the saturation here, okay, we've got our wavetable here. And, okay, so here, we're basically changing the fold So I always love these BLEASS visualizers. And then here we can make it 3D or 2D. The 3D one's nice. And so here we're changing the position. So we could go into modulation here. We could turn on an LFO, pick the position, let's say, as a destination. We see that jumping around there. So we could have a synced rate. Or free. And we could have some smoothing. And you can see the way the smoothing there is just making the interpolations smooth rather than jumpy. Okay, take down that smoothing, and you see it's just jumping around, right? Now, let's take, so here I'm using AU Gen X, and it's just generating a sine wave. And if we take off the effect, fusion, if we take off fusion, we can see here just, okay, this, stereo sine waves in the scope. And now if we add this on, let me just, well, let's just try the randomiser actually. So we've got this random button up at the top. That's pretty neat. Okay, so in this particular case, this reminds me a little bit of that other BLEASS Dragonfly app, actually. Which is very cool. Yeah, that's very reminiscent of that. But anyway, what I wanted to do was look at this scope here. So using the Blue Mango oscilloscope. Okay, so there you see we've got our sine wave, and then as we increase the dry wet amount, you can see that sine wave becoming more harmonically complex, more distortion. And it can be good to feed these kind of things more complex waveforms, right? Like a square. Let me just dial in this frequency there. Wow, that is pretty intense. So let's see, sequencer here. So now you can see different modulators have different numbers of destinations. So the sequencer, for example, has a lot of destinations, including the LFOs, right, and the envelope follower. quite interesting. And you know, you could use it more subtly, just to add a bit of flavor to drones or whatever. Or you can use it in a very extreme way to get rhythmic effects. So let's just look at the interface. Have a quick look at all the windows. So we've got our preset browser here. Import and export. I didn't notice. Let me see. Let's just save new. Let's just try this. Okay, let me just type in G. Okay. And if we go up here, see, we've got our user bank here, and let's just save it as another one. Let's just call this H. So now we have G and H. Now see, I can only see export for single presets. I don't see any way to export all the presets, but maybe there's a user folder in the Files app. Don't know, I'll check that and maybe write a note in the pinned comment. Anyway, so not a bad preset browser, as long as there is that batch export ability. Okay, and then we've got a randomizer here. Then down here we got 4 tabs. Okay, so saturation, filter, modulation, and sequencer. So saturation, here we can control the amount of drive, right, from the input signal. So, okay, so this is the pre-section, so before it gets distorted. And then here we have our wave shaper, and if we click here, we got all those different wavetables, and we can drag our own into the folder on the Files app, okay, as well. It can be symmetrical or asymmetrical. Down here, again, there's the folding amount, and we'll listen to all these things later. And here our position, 2D and 3D. Over here, the gain on the output, dry, wet, DC offset, on or off. You can Google that. And then here, the filter tab. So the first filter, if it's like this, it's off. And then when you press here, the filter will be come pre the distortion effect. Here it's after it. And we've got 3 types of filter: high pass filter, bell, and notch, each with frequency, resonance control, and a mix control. And also the bell one has a gain amount. And then over here, we've got our second filter, the low pass filter. Okay, so there it's off. And here it's on. Here it's pre-distortion. Here it's post-distortion. And again, the bell has this extra gain one, right, that the others don't. Okay, here we've got our modulation. So two different LFOs. Each LFO can have 2 destinations, and we see that the LFO destinations are a bit more limited compared to some of the other modulators. So here we can only use the LFOs to modulate input gain, the wave shaper position, and the fold amount, output gain, the dry wet knob, and the filters. You can control everything in the filters, everything interesting in the filter sections. And we've got, sine, triangle, ramps, square, sample and hold, free time, synced time, beat. I'm not sure, to be honest, what the difference is between sync and beat, and it's not explained in the manual that I noticed. Okay, here we've got this thing, no triplets as well. Again, not really mentioned in the manual. Time shape, another thing let's see, I mean, I think we can sort of see what that's doing there. It's just changing the curve, I guess. We got an offset for the LFO, so changing the start position of the LFO. Amounts, negative or positive. The smoothing knob, useful for the sample and hold. Let's just stick that on wave shaper position again, right? And we see here, right, jumpy. And then with the smoothing on, now it's interpolating nice and smoothly, right? And so then here, our envelope follower, and we can see here, we've got all those destinations that the LFOs have, but we can also modulate the LFOs, right? The rates, either the free rate, the sync rate, or whatever, the offset, and so on. So we can modulate various aspects of the LFOs as well. And we got, control of attack, release, two destinations once again, gain amount, and then the just amount control for how much it'll modulate each destination. Okay, we've got our sequencer, length, the resolution, whether it snaps to grid or not when you drag. So here you see it's snapping, so it's snapping to these horizontal lines. And we can just drag these dots, by the way. So if we turn snap off, okay, we can get, we can leave it somewhere between the horizontal lines, right? So it's not snapping. And then here, you see basically we can change the shape and whether it'll connect to, smoothly to the next shape and so on. I really like these sequencers in the BLEASS apps. And then here a little thing to control the randomization amount. Again, we'll listen to these a bit later. And again, another smoothness control here for the randomizer, right? So if you don't have smooth on, I guess the randomizer can just jump around with it on. It's not going to do that. Now again, we would notice that on the wave shaper position. Let's see. Go back to that sequencer a second. See the way it's jumping around there, right? Okay, so yeah, and two destinations. And so here we've got, this has the most destinations, right? Because this one can modulate the saturation section, the filter section, and everything in the modulation section. So the two LFOs and the envelope follower. Okay, so that is it basically. So let's just listen again to a few examples. So let's take, let's take that audio kit synth that I looked at yesterday. I'm just going to send in a bit of MIDI from Tat here. And I'm just going to change the sound. So let's just take a pluck. Okay, let's take the square pluck. And I'm just turning off the reverb because I got a bit of reverb here in Magic Verb. And let me bring this gain here down a little bit. It doesn't like me using my mouse and the finger at the same time. Okay, so here we're not going into the red, right? So that's better. So why I'm choosing a pluck here is if we're just using the drone that we were using earlier, I couldn't really show you the envelope follower. What I am going to do here is just add a little bit of release. Okay, so let's just randomize something. I really do wish there was undo and redo buttons for the randomizer. That's pretty cool, right? So, you know, I haven't put on the kick drum there. That's being done by that filter modulation. And that filter is being modulated by the motion sequencer here, right? See that? So let's find one that's using the envelope follower. So that's affecting filter 1 resonance. Okay, so we got this gain amount here. And attack and release for that. And the amount there. So it's really all about the modulation. That's kind of cool. So you see here, we're setting the starting position. So it's never going to go down to the bottom of the wavetable. We put it up there. And again, we're seeing the modulation here. And you see the amount is only 42. So if we put the amount up 100, then it'll go all the way up to the top, right? See that? Let's bring that amount. So that's a negative, right? Let's set that. You see the way now it's going down. Love the visualization in the BLEASS apps. Now we heard that earlier on the kick. Let me just change the decay there, right, on that kick. Put on a long decay, we really hear it. Really nice on the kicks. I definitely like it for this with a bit more decay on it. Let's try a few more presets on this. Pretty cool. That's cool, isn't it? Let's hear that on this. Wow. Jeez. Let me turn the level down there. So like that is a bit full on. So let's see. So we could bring down the amount of that LFO1, how much it's modulating filter through frequency. So it's two bells, right? Two bell filters there. So the wob one, let's put on the drone again there. So let me just dial in something nice and deep. Wow. That's lovely, isn't it? Oh yeah, so actually, yeah, LFO2 can control LFO1 as well, right? So LFO1 is the one with the most limited options. Triangle, ramp, downwards ramp, square, okay. I like that. Yeah. So again, you know, we can keep our modulation and stuff that we set up there and go through and hear that on different wavetables. That's pretty intense. See there, right? Oh my god, yeah. That's massive. So let's increase how much this second LFO is modulating the first one. See the modulation here. can't see any way to make it unipolar. It always seems to be bipolar. I'm running those user presets there. Whoa. That's kind of neat. Interesting, yeah. Whoa, jeez. Hang on, let me bring that down. No modulation whatsoever there. Obviously filter modulation going on there. Okay, both the high pass and the low pass on. Maybe could make that a bit wider there by lowering that frequency. Bring down the resonance there a bit, maybe. There is a difference between the sync and beat. Yeah, I can hear it here. Okay, it's using the envelope follower, not really good one for that maybe. Okay, so yeah, I don't think there's any need to go through all those presets there. So pretty cool. Nice that you can load your own wavetables. Again, you just do that by putting them into the filter that will appear in your file system. Just search for Fusion and you'll find that folder. The filters, I like the BLEASS filters. They sound good. The modulation, right? So very important to remember that as you go through each one, you have more modulation destinations. So LFO1 has the fewest, LFO2 has a bit more because it also can modulate LFO1, right, as well as the wave shaper stuff and the filter stuff. Then envelope follower can also modulate LFO2, and then the sequencer can modulate all of those things, including those other three modulators, right? And it's nice that it's got, you know, things like the smoothness control for the sample and hold in particular. I mean, that would also be nice on the square one. And this time shape stuff, and good that it has offset too. For example, that audio kit synth that I was looking at yesterday, I don't think it had any offset on the LFOs, and it is a useful thing to have. And then the sequencer is just great. And it's nice that it has a randomiser, but I wish that it had an undo and redo. So those are, I think, my only, that's really my only complaint about, as well as that thing I mentioned. I need to check whether it has any batch, you know, export for your user folder. And it only has one user folder. I always like it when preset systems allow you to have as many different user folders as you want, and you can give them their own names. But I didn't see any way of doing that here. And then my only other criticism would be that there's a few things that are not just completely skipped over in the manual. It looks to me, I don't know if the page didn't load properly because the manual's just there on their website. You go to their website and you'll see this kind of featured on their website, this app, if you're going at the moment after the app has been released. And then, you know, you click on it, go to the page or whatever, and you'll see information about it. I found that the web page was very slow to load for me. So it was a bit unsure if some things maybe just hadn't loaded or whether they were just skipped out. But stuff like the DC thing, it just wasn't mentioned at all. And it just seemed like there were a few other parts where it was like very, very light on the information. So it looked to me like either the website, you know, loading time is slow, or yeah, the manual hadn't been fully fleshed out. I don't know. But definitely capable of some cool sounds. Lovely to have the sequencer in there. These sequencers are really one of the, I don't know, do other apps, do you know of any other apps that have a sequencer that works like this in their FX? If you do, let us know in the comments. But I always really like their sequencer. And good that it has the envelope follower as well. Really nice on plucks and stuff. I mean, anything really apart from a drone, basically, it's going to be useful. And, you know, I just really like the BLEASS interfaces. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. Do give this a thumbs up. Another thing you can do to help me out as well, everybody, don't forget, you know, watch some ads. If you see an ad that's interesting and you click through to their website or whatever, you know, those are also things that, you know, YouTube will reward the YouTuber for. So it's another thing worth being aware of. All right, I'll see you in the next video, everyone. Take it easy. Cheers.